What are sing wings, you ask? Hey, it's Jim Chandler with Rock Your Best Vocals. Sing wings are what I've coined to be as like the rib expansion in your back. Because if you're doing rib expansion in your back, this is one of the key things to support your voice. That's why great singers sing great, because they use great support. There's a lot of singers that do this, and I'll show some examples here. Wayne Staley, Bon Scott,
No stop sign!
Scott Weiland, Chris Cornell. If you want to understand a little bit more about support, you can click the link down below for Singing Support Secrets. It's my free course on everything that you could learn about support. And some of this is going to be in there, but I'm going to explain why this works. So your rib expansion, what happens is your diaphragm is like a dome-shaped muscle that sits right at the kind of top of your ribs, like right at, right under your lungs at the top of your ribs. And when you expand, when you contract your diaphragm, it flattens out and your wings, your ribs will expand. So if you try this right now, you just try to expand your ribs out, like almost as if like, you're kind of like somebody that's like walking along, like you're like pretending to be like a muscle guy. If you can expand your ribs out to the side, almost like when you take a big deep breath, you can feel that rib expansion out to the side. Those are your wings. You feel that in the back, like the back part of your ribs expand out a little bit. And if you can keep those expanded when you sing, you will find that you'll increase your power and your sustain and your pitch, and you will even improve your vocal range when you do this. Now, this is all about support. And when you expand your ribs out and you kind of push up on your kind of diaphragm, you're kind of lifting up against your diaphragm and your lungs, that's when you can project out. So I'm keeping my ribs expanded at the back. The examples are there. Look at the examples of this rib expansion and try this for yourself, because the reason why you probably haven't heard this before, or you don't hear it a lot, is because most vocal coaches will downplay support because they don't understand from like my point of view, somebody who was not a great singer and had to learn all this stuff. The support for me was not there when I first started singing. It just didn't exist. So it was like I was singing falsetto, oh, look at that, like, we're leaving together. It sounds kind of weak. But when you add in that support, and maybe we'll come back to earth, who can tell, yeah. So you add a little bit of support in there and you can get a nice, cleaner chord closure. So why does this rib expansion and sing wings not get more attention? Because I think most vocal coaches have good support naturally. I think most vocal coaches are naturally good singers. They didn't really have to struggle like I did in trying to learn support, and not really even trying to learn support, but just trying to get more of a legitimate sound out of my voice. Because when the first kind of like touring band I was in Ireland was called the Glitterbugs, and we used to do the Final Countdown from Europe, and I would sing it. It'd be very falsetto-y, very light. We're leaving together. Now that sounds okay, but it's very If you go to try and sing like that all night, what you're going to be doing is, because you're pushing too much air through your voice is going to dry out and it's going to get hoarse, because you're going to cause that inflammation. Because if you're blowing too much air through your vocal cords, they're going to slap together like too much, And then, but if you have a tight chord closure, you're not going to push so much air through. So what I had to learn is that comes from support, being able to have that chord closure. We're leaving together. So I'm pushing hardly any air through to get that sound. You're going to be able to sustain your voice for a longer period of time. So some might argue, well, the falsetto sounded a little bit better than the head voice with the tight chord closure. But I'm telling you, like, that's how I first started learning how to sing, and I would lose my voice after like 2 shows or whatever. I wouldn't be able to because I was blowing too much air through it. So if you find yourself hoarse, you can't sing the next day, a lot of it is down to support. A lot of people think that raspy voice sounds really good, and it does. It sounds good to have a little bit of rasp in your voice like that. But if you're using your vocal cords to produce that rasp, your primary vocal cords to produce that rasp, your voice will not last long. Like, everybody really would sing a lot better if they understood support more. So it's something I want to share with you because I want you to be able to sing longer and just preserve your voice for a longer time. I hope this video helps you. Click the link down below. Rock your best vocals where your best keeps getting better. See you on the next one.